Yep. All righty. We are here. We are here. Yes. Delayed, but we are here. Stevie Quasi, what's good? Happy Friday. Hope everyone's well. How are you guys? Oh my goodness. Have you had as good of a week as I have? Put your twos in the air if you have. Been an eventful week. A lot of stuff going on. So good to see a few people already jumping on live. So sorry that I'm delayed a little bit, but I promise you I'm going to make it up to everyone because it is International Women's Day, first of all. So I want to give a shout out to all the ladies, anyone logging on. And for those that don't know, this channel is 3+ years old, and I've had the opportunity to interview some amazing women in martial arts that you guys should know about. But upcoming on the channel in just a little bit, I was able to speak with Sifu Mimi Chan out of Orlando. She is not only famous for being one of the head instructors down at the Walam Temple down there, her famous dad, Master Chan Poi, who was technically my Sigong, my Sifu, practiced under him for many years at the Walam Temple. And there's a documentary on him, shameless plug. If you haven't checked that out, you should. She will be on the channel very soon. So yeah, you guys got to look forward to that. Sifu Mimi Chan, we're going to have her spotlighted on the channel. That's coming. That's coming. So I want you guys all to get excited for that. And what else is coming? Well, before I even talk about what else is coming, let's talk about some people that we've already had on the channel, because again, it is International Women's Day. I want to give props to the ladies. You got a lady in your life, or many, as probably most of us do. Give them some love, right? I want to make you guys aware of a few interviews that I've had already on the channel. A few ladies you may or may not know. Nalita V is pretty prominent on the fitness scene, the martial arts scene. Her dad was a very famous martial arts stunt guy. Had her on the channel a few years ago. And I'm going to leave links for all the people that I do spotlight tonight to just give you just a kind of quick preview of some of these interviews. Some you may want to check out. So it's ladies' night, basically. I want to give some props to the women here.
It's really cool. I tell people, like, my lineage and my history is very cool. My dad trained with Dan since like the 80s. So my dad started training in the Philippines, but when he came to America, he started training with Dan and Nasanto in the 80s. And then from there, when Dan had his schools out in LA, I remember being a kid riding up to the Inasanto Academy, watching my dad spar and train with all these guys like Yuri and, you know, there's just everybody. Burt Richardson was in there. There's a lot of different like martial arts heavyweights that my dad was in the same classes with them. And Brandon Lee was one of those people. So when Brandon was in town and was training, my dad would spar with Brandon Lee, and he'd pull up in his little red Corvette that he used to drive, or a red, I don't want to say Corvette, but a little red drop top he would pull up in, and my dad would be sparring him in class. So I've got some good history and things I remember.
That's freaking cool, man. So, all right, so it's not to knock her, but please tell me your mom was like a physicist or something kind of like.
Man, my mom was an amazing woman in her own front. So, like, her and my dad had
commentator, Mr. Bay Logan. That's definitely one you want to check out. I'll leave the link down below. Nalita V was a very fun interview. Someone else you might want to check out on the channel. Yeah, give her some love really fast. Shout out to Nalita V wherever you're at. Real cool lady there. Big time on the scene. You've probably seen her in some commercials, things like that. Someone else I had on the channel who's near dear friend, Sifu Don Hamby. I got to give him a shout out, who's not a woman, but prominent Hungar instructor. It's his birthday this weekend. Want to give him love. The reason why I bring him up is because one of his old school students, Sifu Rosa Tronato, is a lady. Featured her on the channel a little while ago. here with Sifu Rosa Tronado.
Hey.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Last time I was out here, I was with you and Sifu Don. So we definitely have some history going. Let everybody know, and I know you practice Hung Gar, when you started, how you got started in Kung Fu.
Yes,
how interest started,
I got started in the late 90s. I started sparring, I started doing tournaments, first year, really enjoyed it. It was mostly though men. It was very, very, very few women doing the sparring, doing the fighting, doing the playing. We play around in Kung Fu, we call it playing around. We're not out to, knock each other out, especially when it's your classmate. We don't do that.
Yeah, for sure. And what was it about Hung Gar that was like really spoke to you? Like, I want to train in that art. Like,
it was mostly because of the animal instincts. I saw the tiger, what the tiger techniques are, the crane, the dragon, the spirit. This is what really brought me out to Kung Fu.
And before this, you used to do, you explained to me you ran marathons and stuff like that, so you already came from an athletic background.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Sifu Rosa, guys, if you're not already, Sifu Rosa Tronado, definitely one you guys should check out. Really, really skilled lady. She's been doing it for so many years. And so many people that I've had the privilege to talk to have been doing this for quite a bit. So I'm going to leave some of those links down below. Again, happy International Women's Day. I wanted to spotlight a few ladies that I've already spoken with. Another one, Grandmaster Deidre Cole, took the time out to speak to me. She is one of the disciples of Sijo Steve Muhammad and trained under him and trained under some other masters with Kempo. And she's very prominent in the martial arts scene. Give her some love here.
Women, children, all of us were trained right there together in one big open setting. And so he took us down, and yeah, that's pretty much where it started for me.
Nice, yeah, because I read a little bit about your original Sifu Master Charles Warren, right? He was out there trained out in Okinawa. Yeah, very similar to Sifu Muhammad. Yeah, it's a very interesting story.
We celebrated. I was just here in Milwaukee a few months ago, back in October, and we were celebrating his 50-year anniversary. Actually, it was 51 years because we had 50, planned, and then COVID hit, so we had to reschedule it. So we were here just a few months ago celebrating his 50 years plus as being a dojo head. He's got dojos all over the place, and just being a black man and doing that here. And he was actually, he started the first African-American dojo in the state of Wisconsin.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So when you started, and it's Kempo, correct?
Kempo Goju. I started training Kempo Goju. Mm-hmm.
Got you. And then how long, when you started, you stayed with him? How long did it take to get your first black belt, or how was that journey?
So I tested for the first time I tested for my black belt, I was 15 years old. And then right like in the middle of the test, he said that I had not matured enough yet mentally, he didn't think, and he wasn't ready to test anybody that young, and so shut it down. Told me come back, try again next year.
I'm ready.
No, you ain't.
Look, my feelings was hurt, but then when I realized a year later of what all that test entailed, the mental fortitude of it, I mean, he really did me a favor by letting me prepare one more year. So just maybe about 2 weeks after my 16th birthday, went up north to what we call a gashuku, which is like a Japanese outing.
Yes.
We do it every year. That's where we do, the testing. So we go somewhere up in the middle of nowhere in the woods, no matter what the element is, and we train for like 3 days. And then on that, so we get up on a Friday and go down Friday, Saturday, come back Sunday. And on Saturday is when, Saturday morning, like probably like 5 or 6 a.m. is when, when the heat is on. We have to get up and run a mile under a certain amount of time and do all this other kind of stuff and go over all the, the history of the school and all that. But the last part of the test was to fight all of the other dons that were already black belts. And they all happened to be male. I was the first female to complete and complete that test. So when I think they whipped my butt, and I was like, oh my God. But it was like going through that helped me so much in life that I can go through something like that. Then it's been, pretty much anything that come my way, I'm able to handle it.
Right. Yep. So Sister Deidre Cole, Grandmaster Deidre Cole, props out to her. That was a really cool interview, actually. She's got a history in law enforcement, so many aspects to so many people that I've been lucky enough to talk to. Had a great time with that. again, International Women's Day. Just wanted to take a few minutes to acknowledge that and some of the ladies that I've talked to. Another one, very cool, and I'm still in touch with and love her to death. Kumu Michelle Manu, some Polynesian art that she does, Lua. I'm gonna play a little bit of this for you guys here so you can check this out. And again, I will leave all the links below so you can check them at your leisure. Some of these interviews I've done with some of these people and some of these prominent women.
Like best depictions of Asian or Asian Americans in film, or maybe one that's not so great.
Well, I mean, it would be for me anything where a person of color is not a druggie, uneducated, in poverty, taken advantage of, or a criminal. Swinging to the other side, one that is striving to be a good spirit here, working towards that constantly, regardless of obstacles, that doesn't befall a terrible death or injustice. And, a lead, that would be nice, or supporting, as well as maybe some lines instead of just being background. So, life on the screen for what it really is. And that's I know specific roles like actually come to mind, but I support and applaud any person of color that is, justly depicted on screen for the world to see, because that is what reaches other parts of this country that aren't around.
So again, I'll leave some of those links down below. Kumu Michelle Manu, really, really, really great lady there, man. She knows her stuff. No joke, by the way. If you think it's just a pretty face, you're definitely wrong about that. Woman's very skilled. Met her personally, finally, Dragon Fest last year. So hope to see her again soon. I know she's doing a lot of work with the Martial Arts History Museum, their new location that had President Michael Matsuda come on a couple weeks ago, talk about that. That's coming very, very soon. Soon come in Glendale. So everyone needs to get ready for that. You guys let me know in the comments, have you been to the Martial Arts History Museum when it was in Burbank? Are you excited about the new one coming to Glendale? You all should be if you're into martial arts in any capacity. A couple more names I'm going to drop before we move on with more news here for International Women's Day. Just wanted to give you guys a taste of some of the ladies that I've had the privilege to talk to. Yep, put your twos in the air for the ladies tonight. Cynthia Rothrock, of course, kind of goes without saying. That was a lot of fun.
We do, we have Keith Cook, we have Benny Urquidez, we have Keith Vitale. People get to see Keith Vitale and Benny Urquidez fight together.
That's gonna be sweet.
Two champions really like duke it out, and of course, Richard and I have done so many films together, Don Wilson, and I have, not only that, it's like we have like Stephen Hayes in it as well. We have so many martial art masters in it that you'll see. And what I wanted is, here's our main cast, and then I wanted people to go, oh, wait a minute, was that Jody Nolan? Oh, is that Christopher Howard? Like spotting like people.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, get your go and delve into my my playlist there, and you can catch all of these great women: Grandmaster Cynthia Rothrock, Grandmaster Deidre Cole, as I mentioned before, Sifu Rosa Trinado, Nalita V, Kumu Michelle Manu. So many ladies that I've had the honor and privilege to speak to. And coming soon, like I told you at the top of the live tonight, we have got Sifu Mimi Chan. So that's going to be a great one. And for those that don't know, Sifu Mimi Chan, you Mulan fans, she was actually the face of the Mulan character in the original animated movie that came out back in '98. So if you ever wondered who did all of the motion, the motion capture that they did for that, and actually they kind of just molded, like her design became the Mulan figure. Obviously someone else voiced her, but all the moves and stuff you see in that movie, that's Sifu Mimi Chan there. So we talk about that and a lot of other stuff. Really great conversation. Really excited. I'm going to be really excited to bring that to you guys. Let's see here. Let's see. Share some more. One more person I would be so remiss if I did not share with you guys. And that would be, of course, Grandmaster Linda Denley. So I'll give you a snippet of this, and you guys should check out this interview. Also, I'll leave the link for that. 12 of y'all total. I know you told me that you played so many sports, like basketball, did track. I think you said did tumbling, like all those sports. So what was more your passion growing up? Was it the basketball first, or
track and field and ballet?
Okay. And ballet. Okay.
I wanted to be a ballet dancer so bad. Karate
really?
was not on the radar. And, you know, I was really a good basketball player. I'm only 5'4" and 3/4", but I was a really good basketball player. But at the time, you know, basketball, there was no money in it for the women, and, you know, the lifestyle of a lot of things that was happening there, I just didn't agree. So I'm like, okay, then I'll just do something else. And I did softball. I was a heck of a softball player. I played every position on the field.
Wow.
And that wasn't what I wanted to do. And karate was not really my first love. It's just that I was better at it than anybody else. That's the reason why I stuck with that.
Okay.
You know, wasn't something that I had look forward to doing in the future.
Got you.
It's just that I had fun, and I found it not so much at all times easy, but if you put in the homework.
Yeah. So again, I'll leave that links to that interview down below. So just a bunch of ladies I've been lucky enough to have in a pretty it's pretty easy to say it's a fairly male dominated, more so fairly. It's a male dominated I want to call it sport, but a male dominated culture and all that for martial arts in general is more male dominated. So to see the ladies in there, and there are a lot of them, but they're the lower percentage, but the ones that are in here that are kicking butt, it's great to have a lot of them on. I'm hoping to have a lot more. So as you can see, and a lot of these women are doing their thing. So I'm so happy to have been able to include them, and I'm looking forward to having more conversations with a lot of these prominent women in the martial arts, in both traditional and MMA and all that. So that's why there's a women's division in MMA. It's amazing. You got you MMA fans that are looking forward to. What fights are you guys looking forward to tomorrow night, by the way? Let me know down in the comments and in the chat. So one more shout out for Ladies Day, International Women's Day. Big old love for the women. But of course, we got to talk my favorite show right now on TV. Goes without saying, Shogun is up to episode 3 right now. All right. For y'all that don't know, this show is badass. Okay. It's on Hulu and it's also on FX every Tuesday night. Set your clock, set a date. Check this out. You're only 3 episodes behind, and you can easily catch up just on demand, or if you're on Hulu, or you might be one of those people waiting for all 10 episodes to drop. I know a lot of people that do that. I myself don't have the patience. Again, as I told you before, if you've been part of these lives the last couple of weeks I've been doing this, you know that I'm a fan of the show, but not as familiar with the James Clavell original series that came out in the 80s, like 1980 to be exact. I was just a kid then, but I remember it coming out. And I remember the book fairly well. Like I tell people, the book was it was a big deal. It came out in 75, way before a lot of people's time, but I didn't actually read the book until later as a kid, but I was so intrigued with it because, again, that big old katana down the side of it, it was like, what is this about? Like Asian culture and just martial arts and, and politics. And even when I was a kid, it just, the cover just kind of got me and just kind of hooked me. So I'm glad that I was curious and have remained curious even from back then. But the show every Tuesday night, well, Monday night, depending if you get Hulu, you catch it Monday night like I do. And you're really in for a treat because this literally, as people are talking, like it's the Game of Thrones, it's the martial arts version of Game of Thrones, or the Game of Thrones version of martial arts, or however you want to say it, because it's the cinematography is beautiful, the casting's unbelievable, and it feels like every week we're in for another treat, right? So this week didn't disappoint. The 3rd episode, called Tomorrow is Tomorrow, and the quick synopsis is let's see here. After Blackthorn, our central character here, survives a brazen assassination attempt. Spoiler, that's from week 1, because we got episode 1 and 2. Toranaga realizes he must ferry his allies out of Osaka or risk certain defeat. Okay, so a lot of stealth in this episode. A lot of things happening, a lot of moving parts. Blackthorn gets to kind of show off his sailing skills. There is an escape by Toranaga, who kind of does a bait and switch and gets himself out of Osaka. And the way they do it's very stealthy. You should check the episode out. I don't want to spoil every little detail for you. I just want to kind of recap things. Give you guys a quick synopsis here. We'll talk a little more.
With episode 3, and following the first 2 episodes, which made the show get praised extremely highly for its debut, it had a lot to live up to, and it most certainly didn't disappoint with its return. Focusing on betrayal, the life one leads when they're on their own, when they have to navigate who they can trust, and the Anjin and Toranaga's relationship growing closer and there being a level of mutual respect, like was the case in the real events with Tokugawa and William Adams, the people that the story is based on. Let's delve into this episode and break down all things Shogun Episode 3. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. This episode started off with us seeing that Yabashigi was writing a letter of goodwill, something which he defined as his best yet. This was before he was escorted to meet with Toranaga following the assassination attempt that was carried out on John Blackthorn at the end of the previous episode. Toranaga received intel that Lord Ishido met with Yabashigi at his home, something which was the case. Yabashigi was under the impression that Toranaga was going to kill him when they met with one another, but he decided to spare him instead. During this encounter, we found out about the assassin.
So yes, the play-by-play, we've got, an assassination attempt that happened episode 1 and 2. And you basically, they pick up the story from there. Beautifully, beautifully shot. As you can see the visuals in the background here. It's a gorgeous show. This time around, though, we really, let's see, wanted to share something with you guys really fast. Let's see, stop that screen. Let's see. I was going to share. No, let's see. Bear with me, guys, just for a second. Nope. Technology is wonderful till it's nuts. All right, here we go. All righty, so Shogun. I'm going to share this with you guys for a second because I think it's worth just not only seeing the visuals, but talking a little bit about the episode. This comes from Vulture magazine, by the way. And just a quick breakdown. Episode 3 again, tomorrow is tomorrow. And the reference to that, basically, and the meaning is simple. It's like tomorrow's not promised. Tomorrow's tomorrow. We're here today. So do what we got to do today because you don't know that you'll wake up tomorrow. So this is when Toranaga asks Yabashigi to watch the morning with him, the sun piercing through the window of his quarters in Osaka Castle. Yabashigi flinches at the cresting rays while Toranaga stands proud, ready to face the coming future. Just moments earlier, Toranaga confronted Yabashigi about conspiring with Ishido and betraying his trust. But instead of asking for Yabashigi's life, Toranaga presented a counteroffer. Get Blackthorn and Lady Kiri safely to a hero fishing village, and Toranaga will expand Yabashigi's fiefdom. So from there, the story goes. It's about getting Toranaga out of Osaka and onward with Blackthorn in tow. They do this again very stealthily. There's a lot of action in this one. Toranaga's crew's found out. The other clans come in and try to stop things. It gets kind of blood and guts and a lot of fun. This episode I had a great time with. I think you guys will too. So let me know in the comments. Are you watching again? Are you excited about episode 4? Are you excited for the series? 10 episodes total. It's gonna be fun. I want to keep on watching because I'm already immersed in this thing. I'm just all in. It's got everything. It's got the storyline, it's got the great actors, it's got the good action, it's got the cinematography, everything looks beautiful. And by the way, doubling for Japan is Vancouver. So Canada is looking like Japan. And it's movie magic at its best. All right, so that's all I'm going to do tonight. Plug in that. If you haven't seen Shogun, I strongly suggest you do. We're going to go into some martial arts news really quick to wrap things up tonight, because there's just a little bit of a kerfuffle, I guess, with our old friend Xu Xiaodong. All right. So for those that don't remember Xu Xiaodong, he is a martial artist out of China that basically made his claim to fame through going through China and challenging old school traditional masters. He's a MMA fighter, you want to call him that, and pretty prominent, and meaning that he's very skilled and is fairly good, I should say, martial artist that did his thing in an MMA side, and decided that, hey, a lot of these traditional martial artists are trash to me, and I'm going to challenge them and see what they've got. So back in 2019, Tai Chi master push hands, called Tai Chi master push hands, Tai Chi master Tong, push hands master Tong, I guess he went by, came to challenge Xu Xiaodong to a push hands match. But before that even started, he had to compete with one of Xu Xiaodong's students. Okay, so they started there. Xu Xiaodong here, featured here. This is our friend Xu Xiaodong, if you didn't know. Before that challenge could even happen. So I'm going to show you guys a piece of the actual fight, so you can see what we're talking about here. And yeah, it's very interesting. So let me give you again the quick history of Xu Xiaodong. Again, MMA guy in China, went and challenged a bunch of these traditional martial artists.
Xu Xiaodong, aka the Mad Dog, is one of China's most prolific and well-known MMA fighters. But despite being one of the forefathers of bringing MMA to China,
yeah, he really did bring MMA to China. I'm going to show you guys just a clip of one of his fights that he's really known for. One of the very first fights happened in 2007. And this one, literally, he lay waste to this, bless his heart, this Tai Chi master that came to challenge him. And Xu Xiaodong, long story short, made short work of him, as you guys can see.
So then in 2017, he had his first real famous fight.
Sorry.
This is what skyrocketed him to fame. It's what you will all probably recognize him for. You see, he got into an argument on social media with Mr. Wei. Wei was challenged. Basically, Xu said, prove that these martial arts are real or superior to the MMA. Now, this ended up in a bare-knuckle fight in the basement in 2007. And she won in a matter of seconds, less than 20 seconds, absolutely beating the living daylights out of this old guy.
Yeah. So here we go. This is the fight that most people have seen. I'm going to start the clock right now. I'll tell you how many seconds this thing is. So from the time that Xu Xiaodong started punching the guy to the time he was on the ground, 10 seconds. Literally 10 freaking seconds. That fast. The controversy that I always talk about, actually, that when I talk to a lot of Kung Fu practitioners, traditional martial artists, and I ask them why traditional martial arts, Kung Fu, gets a bad rep for not fighting, why is that? And it's because it's a different kind of training. And I get that. But this has become, it's become a debate. And is it still valid, the traditional martial arts, if you're training the martial arts for all these years and you don't really fight? So it's a lot of answers to that question, and I'm not even going to put it up for grabs tonight to vote on it or to even debate it. If you want to leave a comment down and below, feel free to do that. But Xu Xiaodong, moving on, not only challenged all these Tai Chi masters along the way, but got challenged by this push hands grandmaster. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what happened. This was in 2019. So we're talking now 5 years ago. This Tai Chi master or push hands, I keep calling him Tai Chi because all the guys that Xu Xiaodong would fight, a lot of them would be Tai Chi, go figure. And let's see here. And he got challenged. I want to show you guys this. There is let's see.
Xu Xiaodong, aka.
Nope, that's the same. Hold a second. Oh boy. Last but not least video. And of course, I cannot find it for you, but no. Okay, here we go.
为了扣分儿，扣完了之后呢，摔那么多跤，推那么出去，我们一次都没被推出去。告诉我谁赢了？我没赢了。
徐晓东，咱们说好的，按说好的推手规则来进行友好的交流。但是徐晓东，你出尔反尔，言而不信，咱们达成口头协议，你说话不算，你出尔反尔，说话不算，你还恶意的中伤我。现在徐晓东，我告诉你，现在我正式向你发出挑战。
All right, so long and short of this is the guy that challenged Xu Xiaodong back in 2019. He's a push hands master. Push hands, basically, Qi Sao. He challenged Xu Xiaodong, but before he could get to Xu Xiaodong brought out one of his students to fight this guy. They set rules that you couldn't lift the guys up and throw them down. And then there was a debate about if you could catch the leg and all this stuff. So obviously it was a fight with rules, which is not a problem because that's sport fighting in general. And I'm going to get to, this is the part where, this is where they talk about what you can't do and what you can do. So no over the head throws, no just pull-ups and throws and stuff. And shout out to the fight commentary breakdown channel where I'm getting these clips from. This video, they kind of break it down. I just want to give you guys the so you can see the fight here. This was the fight with Xu Xiaodong and Xu Xiaodong's student and this push hands master. So you can tell the student is, man, probably barely more than a teenager. Maybe he's 19, 20, built like a freaking ton of bricks. And the push hands guy is a lot older. But the bottom line is the push hands guy, he's got a solid base, but he's just not experienced. He's not experienced in any sort of kind of ground wrestling, any sort of ground fighting. And you can tell he's easily pushed off balance by Xu Xiaodong's student here. And as you'll see in a little bit, Xu Xiaodong's student just kind of has his way with him. He's not ready for leg takedowns. That was just a two-legged takedown. Basically he gets worked. So the long and short of it was after he gets worked by the student, because why wouldn't you? He goes ahead and challenges Xu Xiaodong because that's what you do, right? You lose to a student, so you challenge the master. But anyway, I'm going to fast forward this a little bit so you guys can see. If you haven't seen this, again, Fight Commentary Breakdown channel has it available. And shout out to that channel, by the way. I watch a lot of that guy's stuff because he's always bringing out great matches. He finds all these matches where traditional will fight non-traditional people. They're just kind of arguing here. And then at the end, so there's Xu Xiaodong, obviously to the right, and he's kind of arguing that, hey, we agreed to these rules, and now you guys are changing them, blah 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 blah. And then he gets kind of pissed off. I'll let some of this go so you can hear it. So put the legs, not grab the legs, no takedowns, yada yada yada.
您大声的说，您是裁判，没有别的，没有勾，允许抱腿吗？可以抱，但没提。所以我就问，先问这个可以抱腿吗？您回答。可以。这是世界的朋友都看着。
So the controversy: do we grab the legs? Do we not grab the legs? So the push hand master is all upset because he got taken down a few times, And then he's saying, well, we agreed to this, and this is why I lost. But that's not why he lost. Clearly, and the guy's older. The student was much younger, but the student just had more skill at the end of the day. I personally, and this is when Xu Xiaodong goes off.
还有谁说？来，咱们群殴！谁呀？来呀！打不了了，看旗子。
Xu Xiaodong basically like, come at me, son. Come at me. Whoever's not happy about this, come at me. My student came out here and he wrecked shop, so come at me, whoever's not happy. So then later at the beginning of the video, like I showed you, the Tai Chi, I keep calling him Tai Chi, but the push hands master challenged Xu Xiaodong to the fight. And yeah, sure, because that would have ended any better. And that's pretty much the gist of it. So what are your thoughts? Do you think Xu Xiaodong would have wiped the floor with this guy? Do you think he would have, the push hands master would have had a standing chance? I personally don't think so, because if you can't beat the student, you probably can't beat the master. But it just goes to show there's a lot of arrogance, unfortunately. Traditional martial arts, as much as I love them, a lot of masters, quote unquote masters, and higher level instructors and practitioners kind of can have an arrogance about them. And there's a lot of it to go around in martial arts in general. But there is a feel sometimes that traditional is it and everything else is crap. And this is where it started. And to a point, I get that. But people don't understand, especially in this day and age, you've got to adapt. So if you're training now in 2024, like people trained in the 70s, or people even were taught to train in the 70s, like you would train in, say, 15th century China when soldiers were on horseback with shields and swords, you're not accounting for the evolution of the times, meaning, people don't, fight like that anymore. People have guns, they have knives, they have other weapons. People don't fight fairly. People do what people do. People are bigger, faster, stronger, a lot more than they were in those time periods. So you have to elevate and change your thoughts on training for the new day and age. Even as traditional martial artists, we owe that not only to our students but ourselves. So I would put the challenge out, and I've done that before for my martial arts brethren out there, to take that check, to make that reality check sometimes. Are you training for the real world? Or are you just blindly following tradition? And this is the way we've been taught. This is the way I'll train the rest of the time. Or are you actually making a concerted effort to evolve your art? I think that's where it's at, because you have to address your martial arts for the time. Not saying get rid of any of the traditional forms you do, because again, applications and all that come from there. There is muscle memory that's part of that. There's weapon training that's part of that. So, but what I am saying is adapt to the times. Train like your life depends on it, because one day it could. And there it is. I'm tired of talking. I'm tired of sounding like a commercial. And I'm a little over on this live, so I'm going to end that here. But guys, let me know down in the comments below your thoughts, comments, concerns, all that good stuff. We will be back here next Friday, God willing, and on time. I only was 9 minutes late tonight, so thank you all for your patience. I love the fact that everybody is just sticking with me, and I appreciate all you guys. Just for being part of the Kung Fu Chronicle fam. Love you all and appreciate the continued support. Look out again for my upcoming interviews. I'm going to have a lot of fun bringing you new content. We've got new interviews coming for the year, both from the Budo brothers, as I mentioned last week, and now Sifu Mimi-chan. In the next couple weeks, you guys will be privy to that, and I'll be happy to bring you those interviews. And let me know down in the comments who you'd like to see me interview next, ideas for the channel, anything like that. Always welcome. You guys are the voice of the channel. You guys are the reason why I keep doing this and having a blast doing this. So remember, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And yeah, we will be back next week. Don't forget.
Just stand there, like and subscribe.
Yeah, give me some love down below. Let me know you're digging the content, guys. Have a great weekend. Talk to you all next week, Friday. Same bat time, same bat channel, same martial arts time, same martial arts channel. Let that be our logo. Yes. All right. Till next week, guys. Stay tuned. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. Keep punching.